Hi everybody, I'm Penny Gilyard, your Director of Resources. Today I'm going to talk to you about the New Start programme. The New Start programme is our transformational change programme focused on creating a great place to work for all of us. So I'm going to just share with you today some of the work that we've done over the last year and what difference it's starting to make. So firstly, we recruited 50 volunteers from across YTHFM at all levels for 4 working groups, and they are focused on working with myself to creatively co-produce on the people projects. So some of the things which we have delivered include a leadership charter, and that sets out how a manager will work with staff. We've also looked to support the work of our Freedom to Speak Up Guardian, Stephanie Greenwood. So again, we've promoted the Freedom to Speak Up Guardian's role. We also held an anti-bullying week, and we've also put lots of updates within our staff newsletter about the work which Stephanie's been conducting. We have also looked at the existing apprenticeship offer and made improvements to that, because again, we have aspirations to bring in some apprentices, and we're hopeful that we'll be able to do that this September. The Communications Working Group has worked with Lucy Brown within the Trust Comms team on developing a new internal comms framework, and that's really about improving how we engage with yourselves and how we share feedback and updates. We've also looked at staff induction, because again, we want all our new staff to have a really good experience when joining us. In addition to that, we also set up a sickness task and finish group focused on staff wellbeing and also reviewing some of the work that we do around absence. So that's just some of the things that we've done. So as you may recall, we had a review conducted by ACAS in 2019. So from that piece of work, there was 3 core themes which came out from it around staff management, around communications and recruitment. So firstly, through the New Start programme and the people projects, we look to address those areas. So on staff management, our aim is to make sure that we've got fair and consistent practices. So what we have done is we've worked with Odile and our HR business partner on developing a leadership and management package called Aspire and Inspire, and that's for existing managers, new managers and aspiring managers. And this will provide development in relation to what it means to lead people. So it'll include all the current thinking and practices around good, effective leadership. It will also have a section in it dedicated to core HR skills, so the real kind of fundamentals around people management. For example, how to conduct a one-to-one, how to recruit staff, how to successfully have an appraisal, and how to support staff with their wellbeing. And that's just a couple of examples. There are 11 modules in total, and we're looking to launch that this summer. In addition to that, in terms of the senior leadership team, we've been looking at compassionate leadership. What does that mean? How are we going to bring that into our day-to-day work? And what does that mean in terms of being a role model in line with our values and behaviours? So again, we've had some training on being a compassionate leader. I've also worked with Tina Kingham, our assistant HR business partner, on refreshing some of the templates that we use. For example, I've refreshed the one-to-one template. We've also introduced some new templates. So again, just a couple of examples, training request form, and there are others as well, which we're working through. But again, we've got a commitment to make accessing training as easily and as possible, and also fair and equitable. And in terms of one-to-ones, we just need a structured process where everybody within YTHFM has a one-to-one. And again, this year, like we did last year, when we roll out the appraisals, the expectation is that all of our staff have an appraisal. So that's a summary of what we've done today around staff management. So just moving on to values and behaviours, we worked in partnership with Trust colleagues around launching the values and behaviours. We also produced the values and behaviours poster, and these are displayed across all our areas of work. We recruited a number of values ambassadors to support with making those real, because it's really important that we demonstrate the behaviours and our values in terms of our interactions with each other, with our Trust colleagues, and also our patients and visitors. The staff newsletter that we have within YTHFM has a specific section dedicated to making those values and behaviours real, and we like to spotlight staff that have done particularly well. For communications, we've worked with the Communication Working Group to develop a new internal plan. Things on that plan, which we've now started to work through, has been around team briefs. So on a monthly basis, we share with yourselves the staff brief which the Trust produces, and we also have dedicated slides for YTHFM, again, so that you can get regular updates on what's happening within our areas of work. We've also recently launched Your Voice Counts, and that's our YTHFM Director Surgeries. So that is really a commitment to having visible leadership, and it also means that you can access your senior team. So myself, Mark and Malcolm are attending on a monthly basis our sites, and you can meet with us to ask us any questions that you've got around the business, provide feedback, provide ideas, or if there's any concerns or things which are troubling you, you can share those with us, and obviously we will support you and feedback. We've also setting up a dedicated email account called Ask Stephen. So this is for our Managing Director, Stephen Bannister, which will provide you with direct access to him via email. So again, if you've got any specific questions, or if there's anything you're wanting to raise with him, you've got that direct route through to him. We also developed through the comms working group a vacancy bulletin. So this was an idea which came through. So again, you should now be having on a weekly basis updates on vacancies that we've got within YTHFM. So they're printed out and placed on the notice board. So again, previously, that's something that we didn't have. We've also worked with Lucy Brown's communication team to improve our presence on social media. So again, we've now got our vacancies being shared on the Trust's Twitter account. We've also reviewed the intranet content to make sure that's updated and that it's relevant. So again, we've got people's contact numbers and that information's correct. And we've also asked you last year about the name of YTHFM and your views, and we're still kind of working through our brand and what our name should be. So watch this space on that. But thank you for those of you that did provide that feedback. So that's where we're up to at this moment in time with communication. We do recognise that there's more work to be done on that. And again, in a future brief, I'll talk through some of the other things which we're doing around internal comms. For recruitment, we're actually looking at supporting teams to review their roles and responsibilities. So we are updating job descriptions with our HR colleagues. We've also set up a new vacancy panel, which is chaired by myself with HR representation and finance representation. So any new vacancies now or any banding uplifts from a band 4 upwards needs to go through that vacancy panel. So again, that just provides greater assurance around the processes which we use for recruitment. We are also, for a 6-month period, opening up our interview process for trade unions to observe. So again, that's for a limited time, just for 6 months. But again, it's about, making sure that everybody can see that our recruitment processes are fair, equitable, open and transparent. We've also conducted last year a number of recruitment open days, particularly for catering and domestics. And those recruitment days worked really well. So again, we'll be hoping to have some of those again this year. We're currently working on developing an apprentice programme, and I talked about that a little bit earlier, specifically for estates, and we're hoping to recruit, as I've said, this autumn. We are also working with Kathy Skilbeck's team in the Trust just to look at how we're using a pot of money which we get called the Apprentice Levy Fund. So again, what we want to do is to make sure that we are spending that levy funding, and we're looking at that to support traditional apprentices, so apprentices that we recruit in, but also about how we can use that levy funding to support our existing staff with their development and career aspirations where we can. There is criteria around the apprentice levy funding, but as I say, we're looking to make sure that we can maximise the use of that money both for traditional apprentices and existing staff. So in summary then, in terms of what we've delivered with the New Start programme year one, on the slide you can see that we've increased our appraisal rates from 49% to 74%, and this year we've got an aspiration for 95%. Sickness absence, we started at 11% and we're now down to just over 8%. We have a leadership charter which sets out our commitment as managers, as leaders, to you, our staff. We've also now got a new range of sustainable travel options, which again, some of those will be launched in June, but we've increased things like, for example, cycle storage, and we have the e-scooters, and as I say, as of June, we'll be launching the trial bus service. We also now have a succession and a training plan in place for YTHFM. So again, we know in terms of kind of skills, what skills that we're going to need over the next 10 years. We also have launched, as I said, a trailblazing healthcare cash plan through Westfield Health. We intend to increase our mental health first aiders. So we have 8, which again is a real positive improvement from the starting position which we had of 2. We have 20 values ambassadors supporting the work that we have around behaviours and values. 54 staff have actually gone through customer service training. So again, that's about our commitment, to the service which we provide to patients and our clinical teams. We've set up a new vacancy panel to support the recruitment process. We've got 25% of our senior managers now trained on quality and service improvement, and again, we've got a commitment to get more of our management team through that. And we've also developed the new Inspire and Aspire training package. So that's just some of the things which we've been doing and delivered through the New Start programme. We know that culture change takes time. So again, the Forward programme, which I will talk you through in the next soundbite, will focus on what are we doing in year 2 around culture, and also what are we doing in year 2, again, around enhancing further recruitment, communications and staff management.